Hey folks, I know I promised you a better backdrop. Coming soon, I promise. But it's late and we're putting Annalise to sleep because she didn't nap today, which you don't really need to know, but it's part of the place I'm in right now. But it's all good. We've had a great day. And so there's something that's been kind of just reverberating for me for several things actually, but the kind of like the one that's at the core of it is something that came out of reading the reading that I was doing yesterday on the plane, Effortless Mastery by Kenny Werner. He talked at some point about, he referred to it as the space, and it's obviously the same space that I'm talking about when I talk about, like, when I've been sitting at the piano and or even just speaking and talking about letting the space speak through me. And but something about the way he said it, he said something about he was coaching a bass player, and bass player had all this extraneous movement, all this extra stuff going on, and he basically calmed the bass player down and just had him stand and enter the space and then play. And for some reason, the way he described it, what flashed for me is that the space, entering the space, is all these different components of what that feels like. It's not, I sometimes get caught in the idea that the space means this kind of specific sensation or impression that I receive when I become conscious of consciousness and I become aware that everything that is transpiring is taking place within the frame, the sort of picture frame of awareness. There's a certain thing that when I do that, when I put my attention on that, this is how I meditate too, when I put my attention on that, I immediately connect. There's like a vibration that I kind of hear, and there's a sense of like a presence beyond anything in the world, even beyond my own ego and self. But that's a particular kind of impression that I get when I speak about it, or when I go there. And hearing Kenny talk about it, what I kind of realized, what I clocked was, entering the space is all of the different ways that we access that. So in other words, it has to do with physical posture. There's a particular physical posture that the space, of what the body does. When the body enters the space, you can enter the space physically. And it's like my whole body, it's like I start to feel energy, I start to feel this like connection to the space physically, in my spine, on my skin, like throughout my body. Breathing. The space breathes a certain way. The space breathes deeply and with enough air to nourish and to massage all the internal organs and to let the whole body have an abundant flow of oxygen. The space naturally breathes that way. The space is naturally in alignment. There's a rootedness. There's a feeling of the ground underneath us. The space mentally, when my mind goes into the space, it's like thoughts just, it's like, ooh, they just dial down. And my mind might still have thoughts, but it's like they become, there's a lot less activity. There's a lot less mental activity, and the activity that my mind does have is sort of specific and directed. It's not extraneous. emotionally, there's a feeling of almost like buoyancy. It's like, and it doesn't matter what my day has been like. It doesn't matter where, it really doesn't matter where I am or what has happened to me recently or anything. What happened, the space, the emotion of the space is essentially our emotional body vibrating with presence, vibrating with the now. There's a particular, it's like a levity, it's like an ease, a lightness. So for some reason, this was, this is all stuff that, it's not like I didn't know this, but for some reason, the way that Kenny talked about it was like, so it's like it activated all of these things as a full impression. And I realized if I'm sitting down at the piano to play from the space, or to do a post, like even just a speaking post like this from the space, it's like the actual task is simply enter the space and then see what happens, and then allow the space to speak, which I know I've talked about that in previous posts, and I'm essentially kind of saying the same thing, except that there's an enhanced sense of breadth to the experience. It's not just this thing that I kind of do mentally where I connect with the consciousness of consciousness, and then there's a kind of head-centric feeling to the way that I often do this, and my Qigong teacher would undoubtedly say, yeah, all your chi is in your head. I used to get that a lot. It's like my awareness goes whoop, and it sits here. Sometimes it's not that it doesn't penetrate my body, it actually does. It goes into my body too, but I'm clocking both my own habit, my own habitual way of entering the space, and also kind of like, it's like there's a way that I realized, oh, when I'm sitting at the piano, if I'm really have all these different things I could be focusing on other than the playing. It's not that I enter the space and the music's coming through me and so my focus is strictly on the music. I enter the space and the music comes through me because all of my being, all of my body, all of my mind is online. It's like it's becoming a channel for something, and the music is almost like not an unimportant, but a kind of, it's expressing something that's not about the music. The music is it's like a language. The music, when we're speaking English, we don't speak English about English all the time. The topic of English is not the only thing we speak about in English ad infinitum. Music is the same. Music, the language of music isn't talking about music. It's expressing other things. It's expressing reality through a language. All this multidimensional reality, all these different aspects of what is online for us. So I suppose what I'm doing today is just kind of appreciating that. And I don't have a piano in front of me, and I don't know where I'm going to find one around here. But I'm just kind of clocking the breadth of that sensation, and like expanding my own notion of what this phrase that I've been using means. It's really, I love this when this happens. I love it when something that I've been working with and something that I've been connecting with, all of a sudden, it's like it widens. It's like you ping to another level of awareness, and that's kind of what happened when I was reading Kenny Werner's book yesterday. So I wanted to express that. Yeah, I will also say I noticed this post. I missed the music. I can't believe I did this for so long with no music, but I'm looking forward to being back at a piano and being able to do this. So anyway, much love to you. Appreciate you. Have a wonderful day. I'll try and give you a more Hawaiian looking backdrop next time around. See you soon.